In today's show, we discuss, has society lost empathy?
And now, the TNT Talk Show, daring to go where other podcasts fear to tread.
Hello, I'm Tony Fasulo, and I share the stage with my esteemed friend and colleague, Taya Boya. Taya, hello, my friend, once again. I hope you're keeping safe and well.
Yeah, what the hell, Tony? What you gonna do, eh? Hello, audience. How are we?
Yay,
Hello.
without prompting. Yay.
You make me regret
I kept
doing it now.
quiet this time. I thought, is he going to do it?
Yes, but the celebration afterwards, that's still a kick in the tender pits. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Uh-huh.
What I wanted to say hello to to somewhere because
Somewhere.
yes, I was looking at our Buzzsprout account, and I noticed that we had downloads from Paraguay. I don't know who you are in Paraguay.
94 countries listen to our show now.
I know, but still Paraguay, and there's one person in Paraguay. So
I
wherever
know.
you are in Paraguay, thank you for tuning in. Do you know what? It'd be great if you could drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you, and just that'd be lovely to drop us a line. So I just wanted to say that. Now, as you know, I've got this little factoid thing going, and this one
Okay.
I think might surprise you because it surprised me. Would you believe, and you should because it's a fact.
Okay.
So would you believe that there's a bird in Australia that deliberately starts fires?
What?
It deliberately starts fires by carrying burning twigs in their talons or beaks and dropping them on unburned patches of savanna. It
Really?
will.
What? Why? And
Ah,
how? How does it get the burning ones anyway?
well, so there's got to be a fire going somewhere already. You can't start a fire,
Mm.
but it will take, if there's a fire in area A, it will go, oh, okay, it will grab a burning ember, fly off to area B, and drop it there and do its best to get a fire started. And other birds of its kind will join in. And they try to
Really?
start a fire so as to drive out of the grass the little creatures that hide in there, and they can pick them off more easily. So to hell
Oh,
with the environment,
wow.
guys.
So this must be, is this something that they've noticed has happened recently, or has it been something? Wow.
I've got here's your link. So those who want to investigate it can see for themselves. It's
Wow.
pretty
That's
astonishing.
yeah.
It's oh,
So
wow.
they've learnt this skill because clearly they must have seen it and thought, oh, the fire is causing our food effectively to run away from its hiding place. Hey, we can utilize this. So that's intelligence there
Yep.
to
Well,
quite a
that's
high level. I'm
foul and
gobsmacked.
malign kind of intelligence, satanic intelligence. But there we go.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, interesting. Okay,
Mm,
that's a fascinating one. I do like that
mm,
one.
mm.
First one you've done is actually pretty good.
You like the other one? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I do, I do. I like them. These are good. Better than your Dr. Isaiah Henry.
Ah, you poor chap. He's turning in his grave even as you speak now.
For any of our new listeners and watchers thinking, who, Doctor Who? Go back to our earlier episodes where Tyre used to do a little segment about quotes from Dr. Isaiah Henry Matatemba, is it?
Yeah,
Matatemba?
well done, Dr.
Ah,
Isaiah Henry
remember.
Mayu Watamba.
Yes. Absolute nonsense, but make a
What?
choice for yourself.
Anyway, all I'll say to you, Tony, is the owl that stays silent is wise. The owl that hoots is wiser.
Oh, good grief. He's
Astonishing.
there we go, audience. You've had a tidbit of one of them. So go back to our previous episodes, have a listen in and see what you think. Anyway, on with our show. Let's get past these shenanigans. Okay. Now today we're going to cover more than one topic, but obviously time permitting, of course. We'll see how we go. And the first one we want to touch on is, have we as a society
Hmm.
lost our empathy? Now, Taya, again, you've chosen this one. Do we need to define what empathy is first and then discuss if we've lost it as a society?
It didn't cross my mind to.
I can if you
Um,
wish.
yes, please, because I'm very particular that the definitions ought to be, absolutely correct. So go ahead.
Okay. Now, empathy, unlike sympathy,
Hmm.
sympathy, you're feeling sorry for someone. Whereas empathy, I suppose it's a deeper connection because you're not just feeling sorry for someone, you're actually almost experiencing or understanding their
Hmm.
point of view. So
Hmm.
you're in their shoes, so to
Yeah, it's
speak.
the one. That's the phrase. You
Yeah,
you you can you can walk in the other person's shoes,
yeah,
or shoes in your mind, in your
yeah.
emotional center.
Yeah,
Yes.
you understand where they're going through any pain, suffering,
Mm,
discomfort, and realize what they're going through, and hopefully wanting to do something about it to ease that pain. So yeah,
mm.
that's the empathy in a nutshell, I suppose. So this topic, have we lost our empathy as a society? What's your view?
Okay, so to be clear, when I say in our society, I am actually very particular that it is Western society of which I speak. I'm not speaking about other societies, but in Western society, there are certain reasons, there are certain facts of our society and the way it's run and the way we are running it that more or less coerce us, if you like, to lose. Coerce is strong, but anyway, encourage us to lose. Sorry, are you hearing an alarm? I could close my window if you are.
No,
Okay,
can't
good.
hear anything.
All right, sorry about that. As I was saying, there are facts about our society and the way we've organized it that encourage us to lose our empathy. Now, surreptitiously, I don't think anyone is actually waking up in the morning and going, I'm going to be less empathetic today. But the mere fact of living in this society, if one doesn't consciously fight against the imperative, is such that you will tend over a period of time to lose empathy. And I hope to demonstrate it during the show. But that's my position. I don't know what Tony's is.
I'm in a slight agreement with you. I think
Oh,
there are there are pockets where that isn't the case, where it's going the other way, but you're getting a disconnect. It's almost becoming a two-faceted element where you've got a group of people are losing their empathy. I've lost you on camera, by the way.
sorry. That alarm, you couldn't hear it, but it was absolutely driving me bananas.
Oh,
So I
okay.
got up and I switched it off and I've closed the window now. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think there's a twofold. I think it's becoming polarized. You're getting one group that are being empathetic,
Hmm.
almost taking on the other half that is losing it. So they're taking up the mantle on their shoulder. So
Hmm.
and that's how I'm sort of seeing it. So
Would you
it
care to
rather
share an example of such a group? Because I'm very suspicious about this. You just give me one example, and then I'll see where you're coming from. I understand the concept. I just need a concrete example so I can go, okay, this is what Tony's talking about.
I'm actually seeing it more in the US than I am anywhere else.
Empathy.
Empathy in one group and less empathy in another group. Basically, Democrats and
Ah,
Republicans.
right.
That's
Okay.
what's being witnessed, and it stems from the top at the current administration.
Okay. So I would contest that. Now, I'm going to be very careful henceforth. I did used to say all sorts of things about America, but as I mentioned earlier, I've been looking at our statistics, and since the majority of our viewers, of our listeners, come from America, I will henceforth be far more circumspect in what I say about.
I'm sure our listeners like to hear you being this
I'm not.
aggressive,
If you want to call me mercenary,
antagonistic.
it's fine. but yes, common sense and all that sort of thing. Okay, so no, I would contest that. You see, I would say that there is a perception of empathy, but you'll have to convince me that it is not performative.
What do you
That they're
mean by
not
that?
taking a sorry.
Why do you mean by that
Well,
performative?
no, they're just it's a performance. They're not really empathetic. They're just pretending to be. And the
Oh,
reason
okay.
is that they're taking an opposite point of view from the Republicans. Oh, okay, you don't want these, so we want them. So
Well, there is an
you want
element of that too.
right.
I
So
get that. That's part and parcel
because
of the
true
two different sides.
empathy
Yeah.
would empathize for. Let me take a concrete example. I think concrete examples are great, and we should
Mm,
use them wherever possible. Let's talk about immigration because
yeah.
I'm going to mention it. Actually, I can even jump ahead now. It wasn't exactly my number one point of view. Where is it? Okay, I call it the here. I put it down as the institutional betrayal of the vulnerable. The institutional betrayal of the vulnerable. Now, if you're truly empathetic, you do realize that people want to come into your country because your country offers better opportunities. It's understandable. But there are consequences. If it's not done properly, if it's not done correctly, if it's not done sensitively, there are going to be consequences for many people. It's all very well to be a bleeding heart and artist for the one who's coming across the border, but why have you driven past people living on the streets to go and cry in front of a camera for people who are crossing illegally into your country? People, veterans. These are the American term veteran. It's not American. It's English, but it's very interwoven into American psyche.
Yeah.
People who were in the army, ex-armed forces. They fought for their country, put their lives on the line for their country, and they return home and they are treated with absolute contempt. And they are having indigents. They're having to live as indigents, as homeless people. You can't afford this, can't afford that, and they put their lives on the line for this country. I think even in the UK, it's not exactly a wonderful position to be in. Also, to be a veteran, ex-army, because you're not really looked after that well. On the other hand, here in the UK, our veterans, many of them live in shared accommodation and that sort of thing. They're really in housing, if you like, that's provided for them where they're lucky. Others who are not so lucky are living homelessly on the streets. But
I'm not sure there's many examples of homeless
I don't want to
ex-veterans
get
in the
into that.
UK,
If
but
there's
okay.
one, it's too many. So even if
Agreed,
there's just one.
agreed. But
But
when
on
you,
the
can
other
I just
hand,
jump in though with
hold on, just let me finish.
America?
Just let me
Okay.
finish very shortly. But on the other hand, we in the UK, we're putting up illegal aliens in hotels. So you can't look after your own people. You're saying you're empathetic. That's not empathy. Okay, it's performative. Now, over to you.
Okay. Looking at America's point of view, and I think
Mm.
you're reading the maybe empathy in a strange way, really. I think no, because the empathetic element is you treat the migrants with respect, period. And that's what's missing. It's like they're being treated as criminals, deviants, not human. That's the
Mm.
wrong part. Treat them with respect, treat them the right way, but still process them and give them a dignified treatment. But then, unfortunately, there is a quota or a limit of what your country can tolerate in terms of influx of people. Treat them well, but unfortunately, there has to be a correct manner. You then process these people, but then you deal with it in a sensible way. Now, obviously, who's got the answer to that? Where can you put people where there are people leaving their society because of persecution? They're coming to a better place, as you've explained, and all the affluent countries are experiencing this challenge. How do you then house and not house, but manage those people? Because there's a lot of them all over the world. How do you manage them in a dignified manner without losing empathy,
Mm.
process them accordingly, but then move them elsewhere if you cannot accommodate them. It's if someone is starving, literally starving, they want to leave their place because they're being bombed or what have you. Do you then turn away and say, well, our people here, they don't have a house to live in, or they're living in rented accommodation? You're not eating, you're starving, you're almost losing your people because they're dying, but it's okay. We won't deal with you because some of our people here are only living in rented accommodation.
Okay,
So you've
I'll
got to
answer.
balance it as well. So that's where empathy is. Hold on, they're in a worse position. Now,
Oh,
if you're veterans, if you're now singling out a particular demographic in your society that have been mistreated, that's got nothing to do with the people being empathetic or not. It's government policies with the richest country in the world, I might add, not supplying and treating their veterans accordingly. If you fight for your country and you've put your life on the line, you should be treated for life accordingly and well. You should never be left on the streets or without food or anything like that if you have volunteered and given service to the armed forces. So that's something that's a government policy that's been wrong for all countries for years. So that's where, we're mixing up the empathy bit. I think it's government policy that's incorrect, because if you ask any person of society, should your veterans be treated in this way? I don't believe any single person would say, oh yeah, that if they've come out of the army, then yeah, they should be like the rest of us, live on the street. No, I would disagree with that one. So it's government policy in that respect.
okay, so you made several points, and I'm going to answer them. I wrote them down. One, criminals deserve. You were saying
I
empathy.
never said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I never said criminals.
Yeah, well, people who come into your country illegally are criminals. Duh, they're
Okay.
illegal.
Do the elite, okay, people coming in from persecution, do they know your laws? They're just coming up to the border for help. So you
They're
don't
not
know that
coming
they
up
don't
to the
know they're
border for help.
illegal.
They're jumping onto in the UK. They're jumping onto, first of all, how they got to France. I can't even imagine. They've crossed
Right. The
the
UK,
ocean
which
at
one are
some
we
point.
talking? UK or America here?
In America, they're crossing the border. There's a wall there. There's barbed wire. You're cutting through barbed wire and walls. These are things that are telling you that don't come in here. Trump is Mexico is meant to be holding them back. So all across the line, you are paying people money to sneak you in across the border. You're not just sauntering into the country with full ignorance. Like, we're going to talk about this later, ignorantly, and then like, oh, why are you people holding me? I just want to come here and do some work. You are sneaking into the country in the middle of the blooming night. You're tunneling into the country. So let's not pretend for half a second they don't know that what they're doing is illegal. They are illegal. And then they try to evade capture. So why are you running away? Why aren't you running towards the police because you need help? Why are you running away from them? Come off it. They are
No, I
criminals.
understand that, but you can't group every single one of those
Yes,
in
I
that
can, because
category.
none of them just saunter up to the police. They're all running away. You see
How do you
pictures.
know
I've
that?
never seen,
How do
because
you
I've seen
know?
pictures. I've
Yeah,
never
but
seen pictures
pictures
of people
doesn't give you
running.
the whole picture, does it?
How do you know that?
Well, it doesn't, does it?
Well, no, how do you
It
know?
can't be. You're generalizing again.
I'm just reporting what I see. I don't know where you come from by reporting what you don't see. Every time I see a video, it's people running away from the police.
Okay.
I don't see people running towards them.
What's the likelihood of that report encompassing everybody then?
I don't say it does. I just say all of them do. The likelihood that there's some mysterious element that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and that they are happy to be sauntering up to the police. I'm saying that I've never seen anything like that. You are supposing they exist, but you can't show me any blooming evidence for it. All the
Okay.
evidence I can show you supports my position. So they are
Okay.
criminals. Okay, and it's called illegal immigration.
Okay.
Now you
Can I
can
just
come
turn
in.
it over to Gaza now, just very quickly, seeing as we're using and we're crossing the world now. So those Gazans that have been displaced and are now were pouring or trying to get out to go to Egypt and the Lebanon, etc. Are they all illegal then and should be just sent back?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
So
so
who has lot of empathy here?
oh, excuse me. I've got empathy for the people who are living in their own country and suffering. What everyone should be doing is putting pressure on Lebanon and on Egypt and other countries to pressurize the genocidal maniacs in Jerusalem to stop what they're doing. The whole world could actually stop it. We stopped it in South Africa. We just need to get together and have enough empathy for the people of Gaza to put an end to this nonsense and to get the genocidal maniacs in front of a proper court for what is it, war crimes. Put them in prison and throw away the key. That's what empathy demands. Not, hey, let's spread disaster even further than it should be, contained within this area. It's proper empathy. It's like I said, it's performative. It's I'm such a beauty. Oh, then bring them in. It's false. It's fake. Okay, so deserve empathy. No, criminals don't deserve empathy. Criminals deserve fair treatment.
Yes,
that's different.
Treatment. That's right. This is what I've been saying. So, but empathy is part of that.
No.
Hang on. You have to sort of understand individuals. You don't treat them as a band, as a group. Individuals, where they come from. That's why this takes time to process, because you need to understand each person. You don't band them all together. Oh, you've come across the border. That's it. You go back. No, that's not what empathy is. Empathy is understanding each individual case. And it takes time, because you have to understand, are these people just migrants looking for cheap work? Then no. Or are they genuinely in a situation of strife that they're being forced out of where they're coming from in order to save themselves in some way? So it takes time to look at all. That's what empathy is. So you're understanding individuals' needs. You can't bandy them all together just because you can't be bothered to process it. Oh, well, they're all criminals. Yes, they're coming in illegally. I get that. But guess what? Let's look at everybody's point of view. That's what empathy is. If you just want to band them together, carry on. Don't use empathy then. Just say, I'm just dropping empathy. All I'm going to do is process people. That's fine.
Exactly. That's my position. That I'm going to empathize with people who deserve it, and the people who deserve it are the people who have not committed any crimes but find themselves in a horrible situation. And then I've got all the empathy in the world for such people. But if you, for whatever reason, look, we're not saying don't come into the country. What are we saying? That there's a process. You could leave your country, heave into Mexico, go to the American embassy, and then submit your application and explain yourself. You don't have to sneak into the country. So there is a pathway. If that is what you're just supposed to be doing. If you're jumping, again, here in the UK, if you're jumping onto a boat in France and you're trying to sneak into the country because you are trying to evade capture at that point, you're not just walking up to the border and saying, hey, I really need to get into the UK. You are trying to sneak into the country. You can't then turn around and say, oh, but I deserve empathy. No, you blooming well don't. So that's my position.
Hold on. Okay. These people that cross in particular from France into the UK, they're not coming on their own. They're paying someone illegally who's promised them passage. Oh, you can get to the UK. We know a route. We can do it on a boat. Pay us this much. So there's illegal enterprises profiting from vulnerable people who are wanting to escape their situation, maybe being seduced to say, well, look, we can get you to the UK. Forget France. We can get you right to the UK. You need to pay us this much and we'll get you through. Don't worry. France is harder to settle in, but we'll get you to the UK because the UK is softer, better at accepting, and they'll integrate you into their society. So these people who actually make the trip, yes, they're paying someone to help them. They don't know how to do it. And the same, I dare say, people are not just leaving their house and just walking to the United States. I reckon there are gangs or organizations that are profiting from any little loopholes because they've done it before. They know how to do it. So they're asking people, look, tell you what, we'll give you the money. We'll tell you the route to go. This is the route, the safest route to evade the security services. And you can get all the way there. And then obviously it's up to you then, but I've got you there. And I dare say that this is happening more than we realize, because people on their own, where do you start? Oh, I'm being persecuted. What do I do? They don't want to go anywhere, but they've mentioned it to somebody. Look, I can get you away from here. Just find some money, sell this, give me some money, and I can get you away to a promised land. And that's what's happening. It's profiteering.
So anyway, all of that was relevant because illegal is illegal. And I don't care how you are illegal, whatever. There are proper ways of getting coming in, and if you're not doing that, you are illegal. I don't have any empathy for you, and anybody who does is just performing empathy because there are other people that are truly the word deserve is bandied around. It's been driving me crazy for I don't know a few months now. This word deserve. Everybody deserve. No, do you know what deserve means? It means you earned it. That's what deserves. It's not just given to you freely. You earned it. It's yours by right, not yours
Okay.
because we just want to give it to you. Anyway,
All right.
that's number one.
So how
No, but
long
no,
is
no, no,
how
no,
much is
no, no, no.
okay.
You had
All
no,
right.
no, no.
All right.
Then bombed, starving. He said these people have been bombed and they've been starving. In the vast majority of cases, who's bombing them and starving them? It's us. How about some empathy? How about you stop dropping bombs on people and you stop interrupting their otherwise peaceful lives? Look at what we did in Syria. Look at what we did in Libya. What the heck, man? We're causing the problem and then we're saying, hey, we don't want any part of the end result. So true empathy would be stop bombing hapless people. You can't bomb Russia. Why can't you bomb Russia? Because it's a nuclear superpower and it will destroy us. But because psychologically you're bullies, what are you doing? You're going and you're bombing people who can't harm you back. That's bullying. So you just disreputable, disgusting, immoral bullies. Well, stop it. Stop, stop.
What
America
about
can stop
countries that are
meddling.
being bombed, but their regimes are bad and they're persecuting their
It's
own
their
people?
problem. We're nobody told white. I don't want to personalize it now. Nobody has given anyone else. I mean, I'll tell you why I was mentioning white people before because of this famous poem by Rudyard Kipling. Kipling, no, Rudyard Kipling. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
the chap who wrote what was it, Jungle Book, for example. Remember? And
Yeah.
he wrote this poem, and he said, "Oh, I forget, but I'm going to paraphrase. Oh, and then we have to take up the white man's burden. You know what do you mean? Take up the white man's burden? It's like keep your bloody business to yourself, man. Let people sort themselves out. They've been doing it for thousands of years before your last 500 years of supremacy, and they will keep doing it thousands of years after the supremacy is died. You don't have to take up other people's problems. In fact, the best thing would be not to take up other people's problems because they'll solve it a lot more quickly than if you do. And
So that
especially
means
taking
it's
up.
gone full circle. We don't deal with the problem that Israel are going on with. Let them sort it out themselves. That's what
Well,
you're
let them
basically
sort. I
saying.
do you know. Do you know the funny thing? Actually, yes, but at the same time, don't arm them. You're arming them. Israel is taking hundreds of billions of dollars from America. Stop it. Don't arm them. Don't send them F-16s. Don't send them F-35s. Don't send them weapons and see how long the flipping last. So yeah, let them sort it out themselves. Anyway,
They
that's that. Bombing, starving, and then finally you said empathy is directed to. Oh yeah, then you suggested that empathy is directed by people like the ordinary people, by ordinary voters, and towards illegals, but the government's policies are what drive people like the veterans into destitution. And you're saying that, well, that's the government. Well, you can use your empathy to stop voting for people who make those kind of decisions. That would be fantastic empathy, and it's something you could actually do without much trouble. You could call up your MP, or if you're in America, call up your congressman, congresswoman, whatever, and you could say, look, what about this thing? Are you voting this way or that way? Because you're voting that way, I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote against you. You could do that. That's empathy. You could say, look, this veteran thing is really problematic for me. What exactly are we doing here?
okay. Can I just jump in?
Yeah, no, please, no, I finished. Now, those are the
Right,
points you
okay.
raised, and I've
How
responded.
much is enough?
How much is enough? What?
How much is enough?
Of what?
Well, you said, look at the people, look at our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
You could use that excuse. Oh, well, they haven't all got iPhones. So, you know, that's not enough. Everyone
Mm.
else in society has got an iPhone, but they don't have one. Or they haven't got a swimming pool in their garden. Everyone else
I
has
can
got
answer your
one.
question now. I understand your question. I can answer it. Food and shelter, that's enough.
Okay.
Food and shelter. After that, yeah, they can work or whatever if they can. I mean, what about the disabled who've lost 2 arms or something? Whatever. So, assuming that they can work and that they're not psychologically damaged, many of them are. And I know they give an example of veterans. There are other people in society. I understand that our government. I don't really keep up with these things, but I understand that our government has taken away the winter fuel allowance for disabled people and the
Not
elderly.
for disabled people. It's means tested.
Okay, but
So that
for who?
means if you're really suffering, you still get it. If you
Okay.
it's because before it was easy, they just did it to everybody. Now they've taken it away and they're means testing it.
Okay.
So it's
I
basically
think that's okay. Yeah.
more work on their part. It costs more money to implement because you've had to take it away and single people out. This is the problem. When you do means testing, which is empathy in a way, you're checking people whether they can afford it. And if they
Mm-hmm.
can, why should they be getting it? It
Mm-hmm.
costs the government loads of less money if you just do it everybody. Loads less
So why are they doing it then?
because that they if they make the processes more efficient, then it will ultimately save them money
Yeah, that's
longer
what
term.
AI is for, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
good,
So
good.
the
So,
same
anyways,
so
can we
the
move on
same
because
with
we were stuck on just one thing. But let me give you very quickly a rundown. I actually got
I haven't
a
been able to
brilliant.
finish my point as well, but okay,
What's
go
your
on.
point? What's your point? What's your point?
Right. You're using JD Vance's definition of empathy
Hold on, sir.
effectively.
I'll see
Yeah,
you
you
at
are.
dawn. What?
Ordo Amoris. Remember that?
What is that? No, no, I
Ordo
don't.
Amoris
Never heard of it.
is the order of love. And this is the challenge that
The order
you're
of love.
order
Okay.
of love.
Hmm.
Okay?
Order. Ah, Ordo Amoris. Amoris.
Yeah, Ordo Amoris. Yeah,
I
Ordo
recognize that
Amoris.
from
It's the
Latin.
order of
Okay.
love. So
Hmm.
basically, it's the misconception of J.D. Vance of what
Hmm.
that actually means.
Hmm.
And it's almost viewing it like a
A hierarchy.
hierarchy. Yeah.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
look after your partner, you look after you, your partner, your family, then your friends, then your
Charity begins
community.
at home.
That's the wrong definition of what that means.
Hey,
Did you know that?
no.
That's where the Pope has got an issue
What
with
Pope? Which one?
the new one and the old one
Oh, okay.
about JD Vance's stance on it because he has often said, charity begins at home. That's actually
Okay,
a
may I jump in?
misconception.
I
Yeah,
hate
yeah,
to
go on.
interrupt you. May I jump in?
Okay.
When the Pope starts giving away and charitably giving away the vast wealth of the Catholic Church and they return to living in huts like Jesus did, they can talk. In the meantime, they should shut up. Okay, because that's just pure hypocrisy. You're living in a palace. It's actually called a blooming palace. So don't come and start telling us about yeah 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 yeah. This is the performative nonsense I was talking about. This is performative empathy. It's not real. You
What a
eating.
joke. Sorry, that's a joke.
What's a joke?
Right? What you're saying there is a joke.
Are
The
they
the
living in
Catholic
palaces?
Church,
Yes or no?
hold on, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
The governments in all countries live in it,
I'm not
don't
talking
live
about.
in
I'm talking
poverty.
about the popes now.
Yeah,
Don't
but the
make it about
Pope is
governments.
not saying about not doing good stuff because they still receive load of money and they still give out load of money to loads of places. So don't tarnish them all completely evil. I'm not saying that the Catholic system is a disgrace and it should be dismantled. No, because they still do a lot of good stuff and do a lot of good
I'm saying
teaching.
they can't preach. I'm saying that they
Of
can't
course, they
preach.
can
No,
preach.
they can't
That's the whole
because
point.
if they're really worried about if they're truly worried about all these people, how about they take their vast? Let's talk about the people crossing into America. Take your vast wealth, go back to Latin America, and build for them, and let them live there happily.
How much
That
vast
that
wealth are you referring to
they
here?
must have trillions at this
They
point.
don't
I
have
mean,
trillions at
how do
all.
you
That's an
know?
exaggerate because it's not. It's rubbish.
Let's find out. I don't know.
Honestly, find
Well,
out and you'll
anyways,
see. But
take
it's
whatever it is
right.
that you can do and do something more positive than just preaching about it whilst you're living in a blooming palace. You don't need a palace. Your heart will be fine. You're the Pope. God protects you and loves you. What do you need a blooming palace for? Anyway, look, I got to get back to what I was trying to say because it's more than this. So Number one, the dehumanization. I'm talking about why have we lost empathy? Six to me, six solid reasons. One, the dehumanization of opposing views. Nowadays, we vilify people for political differences rather than try to understand them. So if you don't, for example, in the US, you wear a MAGA hat, you're attacked on the streets.
You don't get attacked on the street.
Actually, you do. I've seen people being attacked on the street.
Oh, come on.
I've got videos of people being attacked on the street. Yeah, I know, but
you're singling out incidents. Okay, one incident, that means all MAGA are being attacked. What nonsense.
Sorry?
Nonsense. Again, you're using the absolute.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. I'm saying this is what happens. And then you're going to, it doesn't always happen all the time. It doesn't have to happen all the time. It just has to happen. And it happens enough for me to say that we're losing empathy. That actually,
you can't use that as an example.
In a democracy, should we be talking to one another, or should we be saying you're wearing a MAGA hat, you can't come in here, you're wearing a MAGA hat, I'm going to attack you, I'm going to strike you because I'm a Karen and I'm going to strike you? Is that what we should be doing? No, it's not. So I'm saying,
if you've watched a video, that's because someone's posted a video to create watchers of the bloody video.
People are not creating anything. People are reporting what they're seeing.
They're reporting it. But guess what? If you report people coming together, MAGA and non-MAGA, where's that reported? It's not. And what are you telling me?
How do you know it's happening?
Of course it happens.
No, you're using
a video
as an
example. Because
you keep telling me that stuff happens, but you never show. Bring the receipts, man.
Think about it logically.
No. Logically,
do you believe, therefore, that because you've seen a video, every single MAGA person with a MAGA hat is attacked in America? Do you?
No, I don't believe that. But
so what do you believe then? You're using it as an example.
I believe that if you wear a MAGA hat in the wrong place, you will be attacked. I'm not saying everywhere.
If certain people walk around London in the wrong place, they'll be attacked. But does that mean everybody's attacked? No. It's you're taking one view and expanding it as if the whole population is like that.
To answer your question, if you walk in certain places in London where you're going to be attacked, I would suggest that would be when you do certain things, like maybe you're flashily dressed and you obviously don't belong, and then you walk in there. And if that would apply to everybody. If you went there, you're asking for it, basically. There are places like that in Lagos. If you walk there like that, you're going to get into trouble. There are places like all over the world.
Was it reported on?
What?
You got evidence of that? No, but that makes sense.
I've actually seen that, by the way. Not a question
first hand. Great. But you ain't got videos to back it up, but it happens.
No,
so you can't use social media videos as your example.
I can, because I see things, but you don't see yours. So I am seeing what I'm talking about, but you're saying that it's logic, but you're not showing me anything. So if you don't mind, I'm going to stick to facts and evidence. It's not.
But that means evidence. You're not seeing all the facts and evidence. You're seeing a small window of facts and evidence, and you're basing your whole worldview on that small video, which is
you're the one that claims it is small. You're the one that's claiming that it is small. I'm saying that it is everything that I'm seeing. Now, if there was contrary evidence, I should be seeing that. I'm not seeking these things out. I'm watching usually something else. And then, so one case is about...
Don't use social media as your platform of choice in determining your worldview. They're creating content for a specific purpose. How do you know what I was watching?
I was just about to explain what I was watching. So how do you know what it is now? You've said it's social media.
No, I'm generically saying don't use social media as your place of
I am not using social media as my place of blah, blah, blah.
Give me some pointers. Give me some trusted sources that you can, along those lines.
Your suggestion of what's a trusted source is not something I'm going to try to your standards. I mean, you listen to the BBC, so I'm not going to even try.
I'm not going to with that brush.
I'm not going to attempt to tell you that. I was watching a video on a gentleman, Andy Boreham is his name, Andy space Boreham. Now he's a citizen. He's not even a citizen journalist. He's an actual journalist, and he's got an actual channel. So it's on YouTube. You can,
okay.
Well, you mean if it's not mainstream media, it's like
no. I want more than one place.
I was watching Andy Boreham. He talks about China. during the Trump inauguration or the actual day of swearing or whatever it was, he traveled to he traveled to America. I thought I sent you the video. He traveled to America and he was interviewing people and just talking about, is this going to be a better time
Yeah, I
between America
saw that
and
video. Yes.
China? And still across, just because somebody had a MAGA hat on, he had this bunch of people standing on this at the side and shouting and screaming and yelling imprecations at the person. That is not listening and trying to understand the opposite point of view. That is dehumanizing the opposing view, which is my entire point here. I've done that one. Digital desensitization.
Yeah,
We
digital
scroll
is
past.
true.
Okay, fine.
Digital desensitized. That's absolutely true. That
Okay.
happens
Can you
because,
explain it to our audience?
well, communities don't happen anymore. People get most of their lives spent online and social media. We've lost the art of speaking to other people face to face in greater quantities. And this happening more and more with the youth of today,
Mm,
where they're spending their entire life on social media and they're losing the empathetic element where you can only get it when you're actually face to face with somebody in natural environments. When you consume all your life in quotes or the majority of your life on social media, empathy is not used. You don't see it. Very little. It's fabricated in places, as you've said, online. So they don't know the true meaning of empathy.
fabricated. I didn't say that. Anyway,
It is
so
fabricated
no,
because some people can
no,
show
I
you
said
pictures
you
of.
said I said it. I don't remember saying that at all. Now the other thing is it's slightly different. But I watched the other day someone talking about this film that I've watched and I really enjoyed. And by the way, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you can get to the cinema whilst it's in the cinema, go and watch it. It's amazing. It's called Sinners. Really, seriously, I'm not going. I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't want to overhype it. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Sinners, Sinners. If you get a chance, just go and watch it. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Don't
So
give
I was
us
watching.
a plot. Don't give us anything. Just
I'm not
watch.
going to give you anything. That's it. I finished speaking about it. But I
Okay.
was watching someone talking about it, and I don't know. These people who make videos, and in the background, to keep the screen interesting, they're playing some sort of electronic game or something. And this game this person was playing was a first person shooter kind of thing. The violence what horrified me. I mean, I'm a shoot them first guy and ask questions later kind of person, but this was disgusting. And these are kids and they're playing these things.
Yep.
How do you expect them to grow up into what?
Exactly.
This is all the
I'm
time.
agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was like, it's
That's
so
the
realistic as well.
standard. Yes, exactly. It's the standard now.
Thank you.
My sons are both adults, but they play these games. And you look at them. I mean, I've even had a go myself. The graphics are incredible. You actually feel part of the game. You have to sort of keep detaching yourself and go, this is a game. This is a game. It's not real. But the way the technology works, the more improvement it gets, you still have to do it. You have to choose whether to kill somebody. So what's empathy there? There isn't any. You don't
Nope.
feel because the whole point of the game is to win.
Mm,
So, and it's winning at all costs. So this is what we're teaching the children,
yep.
and it's they're picking this up. So empathy
Obviously.
is being
We're
lost.
training psychos basically.
Well, in a way, yes.
And then the next
I'm
thing,
agreeing with you in that respect for sure.
yep. The next thing is the rise of narcissistic culture. The selfie era has generated, see the era or era? Has
Yeah,
generated, sorry?
I'm agreeing. Yeah,
No, era or era, which is it?
era.
The selfie era has created a generation trained to perform rather than to feel. Everything is filtered, curated, and judged on engagement. I remember seeing, I'm sorry you've seen it too. In fact, countless times. There's, it was the 2024, the New Year's incoming into 2024, and there was the London fireworks, and there were people standing on the banks of the River Thames, looking at their phones, recording the fireworks.
Yeah,
And
without
I'm
experiencing the
saying,
fireworks.
guys, look up.
Yeah,
It's in front of you. You can. I'm not saying don't video it for later, but you are distancing yourself from the actual actor because you're busy staring at your phone.
I
It's
know.
ridiculous.
That happens a lot. Happens in concerts. I've been to
Yeah, yeah, I've seen
concerts.
them at concerts
They're
too.
filming the concert, even though they're not supposed to, filming the concert rather than experiencing the concert. You've paid money to be there. You're there for the live effect, and you're recording it and focusing on the phone rather than what you're actually there for. That happens all the time because people are, especially young people, they're so concentrated in this world view of the phone and looking at what they see online through their phone that they forget the external stuff. And you're right, because of that, I'm agreeing with you. Empathy is lost because of that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a film, oh, I can't remember the name. It was about, we've touched on it before, and it talk about being predicting the future.
Oh, Minority Report.
No, 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 no.
No,
It was a cartoon.
a
A
cartoon. Oh,
cartoon.
I didn't watch it then.
Right. It was a cartoon of this little robot that was cleaning up the planet because we'd messed it up. And we were temporarily living in a spaceship above the planet Earth. And so the
Are you sure that was a
robots,
cartoon?
it
Sounds
was a
like the Tom
cartoon.
Tom Cruise one. Okay,
No, it was a cartoon.
Oblivion.
That's probably based on it. Oblivion was an interesting one too. But the cartoon was the story of the little robot cleaning up the planet Earth while the humans were in these huge ships above the planet Earth while these little robots were cleaning up the mess. And the humans in the ships were on these floating little devices that looked like tiny little cars, and they all had a big screen, and they were looking at the world through their screen.
Hmm.
And they were all fat because they never did any exercise. And they were up there. They were only supposed to be up there a short period of time, but they were up there for years and years and years because the planet was taking ages to be cleared up by these little robots. And the story goes to show that the humans are up there were so distracted and so removed from reality because all they were doing was looking at their screen. And
Hmm.
one happened to have an accident further down the the film, and they saw that, oh wow, this is a nice place, even in the ship, because they didn't weren't even aware of their surroundings in the ship because they were so focused on the screen.
Hmm.
And that is prophetic because it's looking in the future of where we could end up being if we're so fixated on social media. So I think to regenerate empathy, people, all phone makers, should restrict the phone usage to only several hours a day. And then after that, you can only receive calls on it. After that,
You're not a fascist at all, are you, Tony?
I'm a fascist in that respect
What?
because that way you then what do you have to do? You have to do something else. Now
For
I know
those who
some
can't
people might.
see, ladies and gentlemen, my jaw actually dropped.
Oh,
What? Okay, so that's not going to fly.
no, but do you know what I mean? It would, in
God.
an ideal world, to create. I mean, before in the past,
Ideal.
remember you and I growing up, they're showing our age now. We had to, our parents had to let us out and come back before it gets dark, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
we'd have to fight to get us back in the house.
yes.
Nowadays, we've got
Can't get
this
them out.
culture, can't get them out.
You can't
They
get
just
them out of the flipping
they
house.
just want to be in their rooms or on their IT equipment. But whereas life is experienced out the front door, and that's where empathy is created, and other skills, life skills too. When they're just inside their room or just on IT, empathy and all the skills that are needed to be a balanced human being are not formed. And this is part of the problem. And we are losing empathy, in my opinion, because of this. And it is desensitization to the world, the natural world, because it's all through our screen. We get given a protracted view of it, and we are affected by that view. We start to believe it. It creates polarization, which we've already seen in society, and also the lack of empathy is increased. So I'm agreeing with you. I am
Mm.
agreeing with you, but there's levels of it, and the issue with the border illegally dealing with illegal migrants, then there's ways and means of doing it. You have to accept that you have to deal with them in a certain way, but you still have to be empathetic to their needs as well. As human being, a balanced human being has to understand their point of view. If you're so far removed from where they've come from, you're never going to be empathetic because you've never been in their shoes.
No,
And
I have been indigent in a third world country. Well, not indigent, but I've been in dire straits in a third world country. I know where they're coming from. So I'm on both sides of the divide. I empathize. I do actually empathize with them, but I'm also saying that even when I was in that situation, I wasn't going to break into somebody else's country just because
yeah, but
rules
there's
are rules.
the rules are rules, but also desperation levels. That's the
Desperation.
key.
Yeah, okay. So I was anyway.
That's why
Maybe it's
understanding different people's needs, because
I understand, but at the same time, I'm saying rules are rules. Look, you are able to distance yourself and practice this empathy. It's not that people are breaking into your house because then you change your mind. If it's okay when it's somebody else and they're in a hotel somewhere and whatever. When it comes down to you, but eventually it will be you. I bet there were I don't want to personalize it. So people who have your arguments are not you, but people who advance that position. Let's empathize with these people. Let's practice empathy. I bet there were people like that amongst the Native Americans when the first Europeans landed. There's a reason why common sense is common sense and feelings are feelings, and you shouldn't just confuse the two. There,
although
you
common
have to
sense
defend.
isn't common, I'm afraid, not these
Okay,
days.
it's a new argument. Finally, erosion of family and community ties. With marriage, church, and local communities in decline, people are actually isolated. And within that, they might lose empathy. So, if you don't know, I've lived next to this guy next door for what, 10 years. I routinely forget his name unless his girlfriend, partner, spouse. I don't know. I don't like the word partner unless his friend mentions his name. Then it's like, oh yeah, oh, yeah. Otherwise, we see each other in the mornings. We don't say good morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
we
that's
just
just common courtesy, no?
well, I'm happy to, but since he doesn't reply over a period of time, you stop trying.
Just do keep your integrity up, keep doing it.
No, 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 no. See, I'm not. No, no, no,
See,
no.
this is
I'm a
where
mirror. I'm a mirror. I will
no,
show you what you show me. You show
no,
me that.
that's not empathy.
No, I'm not saying it is. I
Uh,
never claimed it was. I'm saying I'm giving that as an example of a lack of empathy, not an
okay.
example of empathy. No, I will be a mirror. I'll give you first, and you give me back, and then I'll mirror you. Everyone's happy. I'm not. It doesn't bother me. I'm happy. So yeah, that's my next door neighbor. I've got I don't know their names either. But across from me, I've got a Nigerian family that moved in, and yeah, every morning it's the same. How are your kids? How this? How's it going? Blah blah blah. Yada yada. So on and so forth. You give what you get. Now he was brought up how? I don't know how he was brought up. Maybe he's merely living the life that he was brought up in, the way he was brought up. Do you see what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, of course.
And
Bring it. You're bringing up absolutely sets your foundation. Of
that
course it
that will
does.
snowball
Yeah, of
eventually.
course, of
So
course.
society is moving to. So I think I've pretty much made my point. I believe that Western society is losing its empathy, and we know why. But I'm not sure
I
there's
was
much we can
actually
do.
agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing. This is the crazy thing. Maybe how it's implemented, the nuances
Hmm.
we can differ on, but the overall premise is Western society losing, well, society generally. I think it's permeating elsewhere too, not just here, but okay. Is that happening? Yes. And I think worldwide it's happening, not just the West, but more so in the West. I get your point. Because of social media. Social media creates this false narrative of what life is. It's I suppose it started out with good intentions,
Hmm.
but
The
the
road to
way
hell.
yeah, the premise is to be in touch with other people. Being sorry about that dog's barking.
Can't hear.
Oh,
Can't hear.
good, that's good. That's good. To be in touch with other people is a great thing. Build
Mm.
community, but do it online when you can't do it in person.
You are wrong that
Bridge,
it's not.
bridge the
It's
garret.
other countries. You are wrong that it's other societies. I've
Well,
just returned from Nigeria, and it's a completely different society
yeah, but
because it is still.
do they use their phones in the same manner as the West?
I don't know if they use. No, they don't use it in the same manner, but use their phones.
Yeah,
Obviously, I
but
mean,
yeah, but not as a platform with, do your day-to-day social media stuff on your phone. Use your phone
uh,
as a phone, communication device. I get that. But do they use it in the same manner, spending all their time on social media?
well, my friends who live in Nigeria, they still respond to me quite quickly on WhatsApp and other things. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
must be having an eye on it. How
Hmm.
much they use it, I don't know. Everybody, so not everyone over there has got access to kind of access
We
that
have.
we have.
Yeah. And
So
there's the
it could be too
prevalence.
expensive. I don't know.
You would have thought that as those societies blossom
Mm.
and they have more of the trinkets of life, they too may go down this same path. We're unfortunately
The cutting
setting the
edge of it.
standard
Mm.
that other countries are following, maybe rightly or wrongly, because they don't want to follow some of our standards. They see our trappings of success, of the way we live, and we don't want for anything. So they want to emulate that. But unfortunately, they pick up all the warts and all that we supply in terms of like losing empathy, arguing over rubbish, not treating our veterans correctly. Some of the other bits of poor society, our diet, they certainly don't want to inherit that, but that's what they're doing. That's happening in a lot of cultures now. They want to follow the Western diet and they're doing it and they're getting worse results with their health. So that's prevalent too. So, look, yes, you're probably right. The West is losing empathy because of all the trappings of society, modern society moving forward. But I dare say the rest of the world that aren't at our level yet are catching up, and they've got pockets of it in more affluent areas of their respective society. That's what I believe.
So here it is. I was thinking about that. I missed the trick when I was doing some research for this program because actually I don't believe that Chinese society, which is more heavily, I'm going to coin a new word here, and it might hurt your ears. So careful. I, Chinese society is more heavily technologized. Ugh.
More technologically advanced is the word you're looking for.
Well, I just wanted to put it. I wanted to put it into a single word. Yeah,
Oh,
it'll,
okay.
it'll catch on. Don't worry. It's gone now. It's gone global. 90. How many countries did you say we're reaching now?
94.
94. So look, technologized. You heard it here first. Yes, China is more heavily technologized than we are even, and they don't have veterans sleeping on the streets and all that sort of thing.
Well,
In
no,
fact,
I'm not saying that that's the cause
so
of the
they have
veterans.
empathy.
I
They
think
have
you're talking about
empathy.
empathy.
This is their societies. This is the way their minds work. There's a win-win. They practice this thing called win-win, where
Yes,
it's got to be a win for you, it's got to be a win for. We don't do that. We're very adversarial. Maybe that is the problem. So perhaps at the roots of it, there is that fundamental problem, and technology has only exacerbated it. I'm
possibly.
just saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
should have done
That's
the
a
research, but
valid
I don't
a
know.
valid argument, absolutely, because culturally they they put family first,
Mm,
regardless. And
yes.
also the government there, even though you say you don't want me to be a fascist, you say I'm a fascist. In a
Oh,
way, what they're doing, even though it's a communist regime, it actually inhibits certain things from getting out of hand. Whereas in the West, we leave it to the society to do what they want. That's the freedom element. But they make poor choices, which is some of the things we're doing now. We're letting companies, big companies, dictate the direction of travel, i.e.,
mm,
they permeate on our devices and they dominate. Whereas in China, there's the government have more involvement, rightly or wrongly, we could argue that at length. But I mean, in China, I think you mentioned it in a previous show where we discussed social media as a whole, where TikTok, for instance, in China is different to TikTok in the West because they teach their kids in TikTok things they need for society, for success.
Mm.
We don't get that in TikTok. We get cats. We get, stupid videos of people being daft, and so theirs is more sanitized, but for probably the benefit of society. So even though we've taken a pop at social media as part of the cause of the lack of empathy, I think in China their approach has been more society centric, understanding the risks of social media being unabated. And so they've tempered that slightly by issuing certain controls of social media so it doesn't lead their society totally astray. It does still teach the principles of being a good citizen. It does teach empathy. It does teach looking after your fellow man more so than here in the West. So that's almost my sum up of the situation. Because we've reached the top of the hour. We were going to
I know.
discuss
I
more
was looking at the
topics.
time thinking,
I know. We have to sum up now. We've reached the top of the hour. So unfortunately, it hasn't been a multi-topic show. We've actually invested in this one topic. Have we lost empathy as a society? So your conclusions?
I think we have lost empathy as a society. It's be ridiculous to suggest otherwise. And the trouble then, the worry becomes, how do we try to fix that in the future? I don't have any answer for that.
I'm with you. I agree. Empathy is being eroded in some places more than others. How we fix it, I don't know. I think I'm sorry, I'm whipping social media, but I think it has partly that to blame. And if we don't manage it a bit better, maybe like China are doing, I'm not saying we want to follow them completely, but they've certainly got some good pointers in. If we were to follow their way of doing it, maybe that will help, but I'm not sure. But at the minute, I think it is unabated. It's going to cause us even more problems down the road.
Hmm.
Okay, if you've loved this episode, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more deep dives into prophecies, mysteries, and the unexpected twists of fate. You've listened to Tony and Tayo. We are the TNT Talk Show, but unfortunately, we have reached the end of the show for another week.